did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby, they don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me, I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Trey season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I
for
hate
us.
these average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building. My whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Feel Good Friday for you out there. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and so excited to be in studio always with my co-host, Big O. What up, Big O?
Bay Holiday.
Hey, how you doing? Happy
Good.
Friday.
Looks like we kind of matched up here today.
I know. Did a good job. Yes.
Okay, look at you.
You're looking great.
That isn't a flask on your wrist, is it?
You know what? It's not. Okay, it's just a little bling.
Okay. I was just checking. Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to the Morning Update Show and remind you that right now, this very moment, right now, is a perfect opportunity to share and tag the stream. There we go. Tag and share the stream with someone who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Got a nice show today. Beginning of the show, as we're checking in with the Urban League. We've been trying to really talk to the Urban League since February. And we have the CEO of the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, Michelle Merriweather, is going to be joining us. Then also, because it's Feel Good Friday, we got Rod Long in the building. So Rod Long's going to be here talking about the comedy rehab event that's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Laugh Rehab, man. Rainier Avenue Arts Center. So excited to get in with Rob Long. You know, it's been a minute since we had a comedian on, so I'm excited, man. The energy's already up. I'm ready for the laughs. I'll tell you.
Well, Rod's in studio, so we ain't got to worry about him
glitching.
internet. Who was that? That was Mark.
Mark Curry.
And then
Oh.
Mark Curry tried to flame you down there at the club the next day, right?
Oh my gosh, he was so on fire. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see these live events and comedy and everything coming back. Few things here as usual. First, big shout out to KBCS 91.3 over there, Bellevue College. KBCS, they use some of our audio segments, so saying hi to them. Also, a reminder that the Morning Update Show is now available anywhere where you listen to your favorite podcast. So we've either got a screen share or a link coming your way right now. And man, maybe even both. Voila, there you go. This is right here. This is SoundCloud. But also, if you listen to the podcast on Apple, on Google, Spotify, any of these other bootleg platforms, man, we're there. So, you know, you can listen to the Morning Update Show. Usually this morning show is there later in the day or something like that. Another reminder here that in the city of Seattle, vaccinations, no appointments are required at the big city-ran vaccination centers, and that's also including WAMU, we still call it WAMU, or Lumen Field, Rainier Beach. Where's the other one? I always forget what that other one
I know
is.
It's up north, and we
You
gotta
can tell
go
people
back.
be like, if it ain't in their neighborhood, but you can go to the city website, man. But you know, we want to continue with that messaging about vaccinations here in the city of Seattle. At the city-run vaccination sites, there's no appointment necessary. And then, man, CDC. They made some rulings about masks and everything, huh? And vaccinations.
They sure did. It had. I think I saw it all over the ethos and digital social media world. It was everywhere, man. People were commenting left and right.
So yeah. So basically now, they're saying that if you've been vaccinated, man, to relax the use of a mask. I mean, still like on transportation. So like on a bus, federal transportation, at least on bus, train, plane, things like that. And like the Joe Biden's like, yo, man, get vaccinated or wear a mask until you get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh my gosh. It had everybody ready to flame on President Joe Biden. Oh my gosh. Especially, you know, we talk about this a lot because people are going to have their own opinion. I mean, it's still something that's new for a lot of folks. There's still a lot of hesitancy out there. You know, people are on all different kinds of sides of the spectrum here. And it was definitely clear. The message was loud and clear from what I could see in thousands of comments yesterday.
Yeah, well, here in the actual municipality, there is some vaccine hesitancy, and then of course across the state of Washington and America. You know, the thing is there is some vaccine hesitancy in our community. When I say our community, Black community,
Yeah.
but you know, and that's where everybody was trying to put their focus at, right? You know what I'm saying? And LeBron telling people, try to get LeBron to tell people take whatever. Black people, for the most part, it's a lot are getting vaccinated, man. But people need to know it's a numbers game. If every Black person in America was vaccinated, that's still not a big enough number to reach herd immunity or whatever.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of other people out there. They need to convince to go get this vaccination. Big day here in the state of Washington yesterday. Yo, Governor Jay Inslee, historic day, signed Juneteenth, the bill to create Juneteenth as an official state holiday here in the state of Washington.
I'm honored today to sign House Bill 1016, which will make Juneteenth an official state holiday in the state of Washington. This adds June 19th to the list of days that we celebrate in the state of Washington. And as of 2022, it will be a paid holiday for state employees. Now, observing June 19th as a holiday will recognize America's history of slavery while acknowledging the oppression from institutional racism that remains today. The holiday is a celebration of the resiliency and spirit of Black Americans, reminding us of our country's past moral failures alongside a persistent hope for a more equitable future.
You think Jay wrote that?
I'll tell you this much. It is, it is definitely a day to celebrate. I mean, we saw it last year. There was so many thousand, over 30,000 people just coming out to separate events. I know Tacoma had things going on. We had things in Seattle, but really it was a time for people to understand the history and learn about Juneteenth. So many people didn't even know about Juneteenth as a holiday. And so for our governor to now put it in to where it is going to be national, recognized at the state level, I'm elated by that.
And there's only 5 states that are rocking with it, as a state holiday. This was a big year down there in the state legislature. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The legislature, they got it done down there. So Governor Inslee signed a bunch of other stuff too. But
we had to big up Juneteenth.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
We got another clip here. So Dr. Brenton Jones talked to the media yesterday, and he said that Seattle public schools are going to be totally open and operating in a regular capacity in just a few months.
So today we are here to announce a full-time, in-person learning experience in the fall. That's the fall 2021 to be specific. The conditions are right, the pandemic is slowing, and we have access to vaccinations. We are creating the conditions for our children to come back to school safe.
That's your guy, Dr. Jones.
Well, I can just tell you this much. I know right now there's a lot of people that may be on either side of this as well. I mean, what we've seen with COVID is it became a very politicized issue, like highly politicized. But I know for me that, I've watched my son and I've watched him. He's very, very much a good student, engaged student. But the online, it just was really hard. I think it was hard for a lot of students. So I'm excited to hear this. I think that other school district will probably follow in its wake. It's going to start, we're going to see it in other districts. But really, I know for me as a parent, I'm excited for this news.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that's not too many months away. This is May, June, July, August. It's just a little over three plus months for them to get. I mean, you got to think a lot of these facilities that haven't been used in a long time. I mean, it's a commitment. It's more than just saying like, okay, we're going to be open. It's a whole commitment around it. Like, okay, is there going to be a vaccination policy? What about these buildings been sitting idle for a year? Are you upgrading HVAC systems in the building? What about the buses, the transport, and the filtration system on the? It's a lot to it.
It is. It really is. You're right.
All right, we got some super duper good news here from that Brown Girl Cooks, Christy Brown Communion Restaurant. Communion on Union. Can you please put up this slide right here? Communion named one of the top 12 best new restaurants in the world.
Woo!
Yep. And you can find this in the Seattle Times. Condé Nast Traveling. I read Condé Nast Traveling. Traveling food. Yeah. This is a very, very, very big honor.
I mean, when you talk about top 12 restaurants in the world being in the Central District where we grew up, me and O, to be honest, I'm elated for the whole team at Communion. They work really hard. I'm there lots of times. You don't ask me how many. I'm there all the time. But the truth is it's because it is good food. They do a great job of diversifying their menu, of being really responsive to what customers love. And to be honest, all of the food, I've had it all. It's all bomb. I'm not gonna lie. It is all good.
They call her a soul food master.
I love it. She deserves the title. I just love hearing this. It deserves global recognition in that regard too, if you ask me.
Imagine that. One of the top 12 best new restaurants. That's a feel-good Friday right there. You know what I'm saying?
My peoples.
Man.
So proud of them. Yeah, you guys deserve the honor.
Chef Christy and Damon Bowman. You know what this calls for, Trey?
What?
Because sometimes, being one of the top new restaurants in the world, sometimes, you gotta wait. Yeah. But that means we need to go up there and get some drinks.
There it is.
We know we can get some of that brown liquor. We can get some brown liquor to go.
So Damon has his own handcrafted drinks for us over there. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because we gotta sit down. We're really gonna get down at Communion, man. You gotta really sit down. But we're moving around. We might go get some of that brown liquor and cheers it up.
There we
Congratulate
go.
communion.
We have
Then
to.
one other thing here before we take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking to Michelle Merriweather of the Urban League. This is some good news here from the Seattle Parks Department. Let me see here. Actually, I had skipped that. It was supposed to be before communion. So Seattle Parks Department, we got a link there that we want to put into the comments. Seattle Parks Department, you can receive grants, community grants up to $10,000. Let me just read it properly. Seattle Parks and Recreation is pleased to announce the Welcome Back Seattle grant. Community members and organizations can receive up to $10,000 with these small, simple grants to fund programming in the Seattle parks and green spaces. So for imagine you could get a grant if the grant needs to support healing from the tri-pandemics of racial equality, disparity, COVID, and social isolation, and the economic downturn. So this is really dope here. Seattle Parks Department, $10,000 grants for people who can put programming together. You know, it's a lot of people doing programming in our community, and usually they're just doing it out the goodness of their heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, there's a lot going on in terms of getting kids active again, getting them back out to activate the parks and to, get the parks moving. I think there's some amazing programs that I've even been involved in. So I know that there's some that are coming out, man, that are going to get the people out, doing an intergenerational approach with parkour. So I'm excited, man, to, let's get our parks open again.
Yeah, I think the thing is too here is, see, some people got hit with one thing, some people two, but us folks, we got the trifecta. We got the pandemic of racial equality, disparity around COVID, and economic downturn.
Right,
so
all of it.
Our community needs a lot of this. The link is in the chat. We'll continue to talk about this program because a lot of times these programs come out and we don't find out till after the fact. Like, oh, you didn't sign up for that. Oh, I didn't know. So we're gonna stay on message here because I think this is a really great program, an opportunity here in our community. We're gonna take a break right now. When we come back, we have Michelle Merriweather of the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Trey.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is, look, you can see my name on the screen right there. That's the magic hands of Ibrahim Omar, who's operating our lower thirds today.
Look at Ibrahim getting it done.
So if he puts Trey Holiday right there, and he done moved it. If he puts Trey Holiday over there or something, then we know it's a problem.
Well, I'm excited, man. Chats with Trey's coming back this week.
Yeah, Chats with Trey.
Yay!
It's at 2:00 today, and we'll talk about that a little later on in the show. But 2:00 today,
Absolutely.
Chats with Trey.
Thanks for the promo, team.
Yeah, we're stepping it up over here. All right, so it's been a minute. Like I said, we've been wanting to actually talk with the Urban League here since February, probably even before then, but definitely since February. And very happy today to have the CEO of the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, Michelle Merriweather, with us. Can you go ahead and bring in Michelle? Hello.
Hey,
Hi, Michelle.
how you doing?
Well, we're doing good. Welcome to the Morning Update Show.
Honored to be here with y'all today.
Fantastic. As you can imagine, we do have a lot of questions for you and the Urban League, but I think it's probably pretty good to give you the floor first, and you can tell people, the audience, exactly what the Urban League is and all about, because we do have a lot of viewers here who might not really be up on the Urban League and what the Urban League does.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle has been serving the Seattle community for 90 years. We celebrated our 90th anniversary during our COVID days back in November. And in that service to community, we focus on key areas to put us on a path of economic self-sufficiency through workforce development, housing, training programs, educational programming, and just supporting and advocating for our community wherever needed. I've had the privilege of being a part of the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle for 6 years now, and serving as the CEO for 3. And in the last 3 years, man, our programming has grown tremendously to support our community in all of those key areas. And we're just excited about doing the work and representing community. When I joined the organization back in 2015, there was 12 of us. Now we have over 75 connected to community and just doing the work needed to support us.
All right, good stuff. Also, this is my first time talking to you in quite some time, so I wanted to pass along my condolences, because I know that you lost your father earlier this year. Really around the same time a lot of things were happening here in the community. So it's belated, but definitely want to offer our condolences.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, all right. Well, the elephant is in the room, so to speak here. It's lots of questions definitely up there on 23rd and Massachusetts, the Urban League Village, the apartments there, the Northwest African American Museum that's there. And really for me, if I could, although Omari Tahir's occupation of the space precludes the events there, or precedes the events there in February, if I could ask you a few questions about the shooting that occurred in February, and then also what's going on now, and then also what your future plans are. I think one of the biggest questions that I have for you, ma'am, is that the Urban League, when Anais Valencia was unfortunately murdered up there at Urban League Village, and the Urban League was the one people that we couldn't get a hold of, that we heard nothing from. There was even this coastal property people, they put out a press release. Everybody else made themselves visible. We were really looking for some answers from the Urban League. I mean, I don't think clearly the Urban League didn't kill anybody. That wasn't the issue, but it's you guys as the property actual owners. No one was available.
Yeah, I think I'll take ownership for that. I was out, my father died literally days before that, and I was out. And so, unfortunately, no one really knew how to respond. I think we put out a statement later, probably later than we should. But we certainly were communicating with our residents and, of course, our property manager as well. And those that were involved, but I'll take ownership for that. I wasn't there, and I think folks just didn't know how to respond other than doing what we do best in supporting those that were involved.
Right. And just one or two more questions about the actual apartments.
Sure.
who live up there. You know, one of the things that we heard was with this coastal management, and actually in researching with them and everything else, is the Urban League Village doesn't necessarily fit the profile of all the other properties that they have. And that, you know, just kind of getting to the point that this is a white property management company from the east side, where a lot of the residents say that the employees of the property management company aren't very culturally responsive, culturally, whatever, you know. It's just it really just seemed like an awkward fit for a layman. I don't own a building and I don't deal with property management companies, but, you know, looking at that relationship between the Urban League and the property management company, and also talking to residents there in the building, it just seemed a bit problematic, is the feedback that we got. But I wanted to throw it out there to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll say this. When I joined the organization, we had a different property management company. That company was absorbed by Coast, I want to say sometime in 2019, and we just have gone on with that. We haven't had the opportunity to dig deeper, to make any changes. Of course, last year was a tough year for all of us. We were focused on doing the work needed to support community, and we just haven't had the opportunity to dig any deeper, and didn't stop the process. And then when all of this started, it was even harder to build a relationship or make any changes or see what was happening. But we certainly hear the feedback of all the residents, and we'll do further investigation and review from there. But our first priority is to our residents for certain. But things changed. The organization that we had managing the company was purchased, and we just haven't had the opportunity to make any further deeper investigation or changes.
Right. And how involved, just so the public knows, how involved or uninvolved, but how involved is the Urban League with that actual property? You know, there's lots of people who own property in this city.
Right.
Individuals and organizations. Some are very hand-on, they're there every day, and others are like, hey, this is why we hired this company to do X, Y, and Z. Kind of, where does Urban League as an organization fit into, as far as how hands-on or hands-off you are at Urban League Village?
To be honest, prior to last year, we were pretty hands-off. It was pretty quiet. You know, when they had vacancies, we would promote those. But it was pretty quiet, and we had a decent relationship with the property managers and really didn't need to be involved. And then the building is kind of split up in two, I'll say, condo units, so to speak, and the museum is on the bottom, and they have full control over what happens on that bottom unit. And then we have a property manager to manage the top. So until last year, we did not have a whole lot to do other than promoting the vacancies. And then last year, when COVID hit, we reached out to those residents to see what their needs were and try to support them and build a relationship, because that was important to me. And now we try, and we do everything we can to stay in communication and contact with them, and just be better landlords and partners and neighbors to those folks that live there and call the Urban League Village home.
Okay. Wanted to turn attention a bit here to the occupation occurring. It's still occurring, I guess, in a different format now. But the occupation, Juneteenth will make 1 year since Omari Tahir Garrett and the African American Heritage and Cultural Center group have been occupying the space one way or another there out in front of the Northwest African American Museum. What's your position on this?
Our position is that he's there unlawfully. We, back in June, July, August September of last year, we did everything that we could to identify and communicate with him and find out how we can build community and work with him on getting him someplace safer. I just don't think that living outside in front of a building is safe for him, especially during COVID, but that didn't work. And so we did proceed with going to the courts, and the courts in April 20th agreed with us that we are the rightful owners of the building and that he needed to leave. Further, again, we listened to our residents, and they felt, many of them felt safe and threatened by Mr. Garrett and the folks that were there, that are there as well. And so we have to do everything that we can to protect the people that call the Urban League Village home.
Right now, one of a few of the things, and I don't know if you saw this interview. I interviewed Omari. The long interview was like 40 minutes, right? And so
Yeah.
one of the there was a few things that he touched on in that interview that I want to talk to you about is
Sure.
who owns the building? Does the Urban League own the building?
We do. We do. We've owned the building since around 2001. We have a deed that is filed with the state and a deed in good standing. And so therefore, we do own the building. And we, again, took it to the court. We demonstrated our ownership. Mr. Garrett had the opportunity to do the same, and he does not have a deed um, to the property. So we do own the building, uh, free, not free and clear, of course, but we own the building and we have the deed that's filed with the state.
All right. Thanks so much, Michelle, for being here today. I probably have a litany of questions and some I won't even probably have time for. But I do want to ask, while we're talking about the occupation, what is Urban League actually doing? As you guys have heard about, what is there. And I think it goes back to the original occupation of the Coleman School building and what the community was really hoping the museum would be, which is this cultural hub. And unfortunately, what a lot of people feel like is that it's showcasing some kind of culture, but not for everybody. It doesn't feel inclusive in that regard. How can the Urban League work with NAM staff to really understand some of the dynamics of Omari Tahir Garrett's actual occupation here, which is saying, hey, we wanted a real cultural center that was going to provide opportunities for youth with regard to a recording studio, a fashion center, stuff that really brings youth in and gets them off of the streets and away from this gun violence.
I agree with you 100% that all of that is needed. I think that the folks at NAM, Lanisha, and all of the people at NAM are open to conversation about what NAM can do and do better. I am certainly open to helping the community, do all we can to either find space to make that happen someplace else or work with NAM to enhance the programming that they do now. I will say that I think Lanisha has been there, I want to say about 3 years as well, and that she's been doing all that she can to enhance the programming there as well. I mean, I think, from the time I got here to now, it is a very different museum. And I think that she's done a lot to make it better. Is it perfect? That's certainly debatable, and I don't know that anything is, but I do know that she's open to listening and having respectful, genuine conversation. And I think that she and folks at NAM have tried to do that over the last year, certainly to no avail.
Oh, well, I now want to kind of pivot a little bit because you were talking about Lanisha being in that position for about 3 years. You've been at Urban League for about 3 years. And I know when you came here to Seattle and, got the job with Urban League and like in bed with the community, right away, you could probably sense that there was some, I don't know if it's conflict we want to call it, but some type of gap, right? Where it's almost as if there are some organizations that seem to be kind of playing in a gatekeeper fashion. And I think that, Urban League was called out very publicly through, community comment and, community kind of coming together to kind of voice their concern around that. And then, there was a need to maybe bridge the gap. What do you feel that you have done in your role in these 3 years to try to resolve some of the things that you may have stepped into, maybe even unknowingly?
Certainly unknowingly. Well, I'll say this. I had been there 3 years prior, so I'm certainly aware of some of it. And I think my goal is just to be a good partner and to listen to community and provide the resources that I can get to bring to community, and that everyone we hire within the Urban League are Black folks and other people of color that care, that have lived experiences in the work that we're trying to do, and just be a part of community, show up where we are, and just be genuine, authentic, care. Don't ever assume that we're better than or more than or any of that. And then lift up and uplift and partner with those organizations that feel like they haven't been seen, heard, valued, appreciated, and make sure that they get that opportunity from where I sit, right? And I don't know that I have the power to do all of it or to solve all the problems, but I certainly do all that I can to make sure that the Urban League is a good partner and a good part of the Seattle community.
Right. Well, because I think excuse me, one of the things is that the Urban League, is one of these one of the Black organizations, and in most cases the NAACP here as well, where they have a default seat at the table. When a lot of these big things happen and occur, whether it's the mayor wanting to put together a task force or the governor's doing this and that, because of the longevity of the organizations and reputation and everything else, there's a default seat at the table. With that default seat at the table also comes with responsibility as well, because that default seat means that you're also representing individuals, but also other organizations that are doing good work, but they're not recognized to that seat at the table. The Urban League is. And so I just wanted, I guess, layer on top of Treyana's question here, but in a different way, is how intentional is the Urban League in realizing that a lot of times that default seat is there, and knowing that you're responsible and accountable for other people who you might not even confer with. They might not be part of the Urban League. You might not go to their meetings, but, in our community as a totality.
My goal is to either make space for them at the table or give up my seat so they can be at that table. And I've done that a time or two, or three or four, to make sure that those organizations have a seat at the table. Either I call them and say, this meeting is happening, can you get here? As soon as I hear about it, or, even at the state level saying, the Urban League is at a lot of tables, it's time to make space for somebody else. So that's just my way, my genuine way, and care for the people that I come from, I represent. It's, for me, the Urban League is just my conduit to supporting my people, and I think it's a good one. I think, like you said, it has a longevity, and I think that we as community can certainly use that to our advantage, because I do recognize the privilege that I get at some of these tables, just because the Urban League name and brand. And I hope that when I get to sit at that table, I'm making space for somebody else. If I can't at that moment, that I'm elevating their voices and concerns and needs, so that when the time comes up for increasing that table, that I can get more of us in there. If I'm the only one, I won't be the only one for long. That is for certain. And if I am the only one, I'm going to make sure that I am echoing the voices of the community.
All right. Just a few more questions that I had over here, ma'am. And just wanted to circle back to the tragic incidents that occurred there in February at the building there in NAM. People are, and even coastal the management company was very aware. They said that they hired Greg Taylor. In a release, they said they hired him to clean up the property and everything else. When we talked to residents over there, residents said that they made Coastal as well as the Urban League aware that they had issues there with Greg Taylor, and the police have been called several times. and responded there, paramedics. There was reports of him pulling out his gun on people there before and arguing and everything else. Like I said, Coastal said they had a relationship with him, and whether they acted or didn't act on other complaints or anything else, is it still the Urban League's position that you guys didn't know who Greg Taylor was or wasn't aware that he was a problem there or was reported as a problem in the building?
I did receive one complaint from a resident, and that was dealt with. Nobody could have predicted the situation that happened, the unfortunate tragic loss. But when I receive, when we, because they don't always come to me, receive issues or complaints from the residents, we certainly deal with them as best as we can and in a timely manner. I would also say that when people are dealing with mental illnesses and challenges and problems, we can't turn our backs on them. And so we did offer our support and our help and try to do things. And I imagine that Coast did too. And that is why they hired him. And again, no one could have predicted what happened that night. And I hate that it came to that. And hindsight being 2020, sure, he probably should have been removed from his job, but that was also his residence. So I think, looking back, folks are asking us to evict someone and that had a mental illness and likely put him on the street. So that would cause even more challenges. So, and this is all, thinking after the fact, but to answer your question, I was made aware of one incident. We did bring it up, and it was, to my knowledge, managed by Coast, and then this incident occurred.
Ma'am, what's the very near future here looking like for this building, for Urban League Village? I don't know if you're in communication with NAM as far as their plans to actually open back up the building, but then also I'll give you some space as well as what's in the short-term future for the Urban League itself, and what are you guys doing as far as COVID recovery?
Thank you. Well, I will say NAM would love to open as soon as it is safe to do so. They do have programming planned and things planned for now and for the future. So I hope that you, if you have not had, you invite their team on to discuss their programming. As far as the occupation, I hope that we can come to some resolution because we all are a part of the same community and want the same things for our friends and neighbors. And I think that is possible. We just all have to be open and willing to listen and lean in and do what's best for the folks that call Seattle home, and especially call that museum home. And as far as the work of the Urban League, we're doing amazing work. As you guys started leading out, we're doing COVID vaccine clinics all over the city. We're partnering with the city on the major sites as well and getting folks vaccinated. We have some fantastic programming, especially for our youth. I'll highlight one where we're helping Black-owned businesses build websites with our young people. And I can go on forever. Rental assistance, workforce development programming, helping people purchase homes, all of that. And so we have a lot going on. A lot of positive, great things to support our community, and I hope that that counts too.
Right. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes when you're just listing out the programming, my question is how do people get plugged in? Because maybe people don't know, or maybe with COVID, maybe there's a miss in information. But how do people get plugged in?
Thank you. They can go to our website, urbanleague.org. How we got urbanleague.org, I have no idea, but that is our website. We're on all the social channels at SEA Urban League. And then our office has never been closed. They can also come visit us on 14th and Yesler if they need any type of assistance or looking for a job as well. So 14th and Yesler is where our building is.
Right. And just to circle back around here, because ultimately in the community we want to be able to ideally, and everybody's not supposed to get along. It's just, they're just not supposed to harm each other either. But people don't have to agree. But you're saying that you don't have any problem having any discussion with Omari Tahir Garrett or that group over there to further conversation around this issue?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We started out in the last summer and fall in conversation. It just did not yield any results. And so we will continue that. But we ask that that conversation not take place in an occupation in front of the building, that we can continue as community to build and figure out and strategize how we can help his vision come to light. But just keep community safe and not threaten the lives of the residents or the people that are doing the work.
All right, Michelle Merriweather, CEO of the Urban League Metropolitan Seattle. Thank you for taking time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Urban League.
Yeah.
The thing is well, there's a few things that have bothered me, but like one of the things definitely was the silence, the deafening silence around the murder of Anais Valencia up there. The buck stopped with her. She said it was my fault. It was 100%. I didn't say anything. My dad died. I was out of town. We didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, I think, one of the things that kind of struck me just listening was, as Urban League has grown even in staff, as she said, starting out with like maybe 12 folks when she joined and now being up to 75 for Seattle. I was thinking, well, who else could have stepped in? But also too, I think for me, so much of it is when you're representing a community that is very small in Seattle. We're talking about just being transparent and being open. Any of the staff members should have been able to be like, this is how I feel about this. I know I work for Urban League, but I think that's what a lot of folks were looking for at that point.
Just a statement.
Yeah.
Not necessarily anything legal or anything, whatever, but just the actual statement of like, man, this is crazy, because everybody was looking. Me, Justin Carter, Mike Davis, Hannah Scott. These are all different journalists, you know what I'm saying, that are looking for it. She's the CEO of the organization. She's taking responsibility for it. Says the buck stops with her. So, you know what I'm saying? The structure of their organization might be, if the CEO doesn't say that it goes out, it goes out. I agree, you know what I'm saying? But I think the one of the larger issues here today and addressing is like, it is, the Urban League has a very big seat at almost every table in here. When people are like, we need to go talk to the blacks, you know what I'm saying? And they put their need to go talk to the blacks list up on the whiteboard. Urban League's always there, you know what I'm saying? It's fine, but that's a default seat as well. And there's a lot of responsibility to the larger community as a whole because of like this default seat oftentimes is given to an organization like the Urban League. And as far as this situation here with Omari Tahir Garrett, what are your thoughts on her statement?
I think that if all of that is true, not saying it's not, but for me it's like there can be maybe some resolution here. I think for the occupation, it's very clear from their perspective that they want that building. It's not about moving programming somewhere else. Having the longest occupation of a public building in the nation right there at the Coleman School, their whole agenda is really making it what they were there all those years to try to push through for community. And lastly, kind of on this, I'll say that when you're talking about the seats at the table, we have talked about it from a political perspective, oftentimes right here on Converge and on the Morning Update show, about how the decline of Black community has been in the hands of Democrats. They've been running this state for so long. But I think that it's the same when we start really breaking down when they say we want to talk to the Blacks and who they're talking to. How come we haven't actually seen material gains for Black community? And ultimately, I think it is a part of the birth of so many other organizations who have said, well, things are not happening in our community. We have to take ownership of it. We have to do it ourselves. So, again, I think that there's a lot that can be done here, kind of across when she said, hey, we want to bring other people to the table. I think there's a lot of folks that can really speak to that.
Right. I think there's something else that's occurred here is that there's finally an open line of communication between Converge and the Urban League, which also means that, and from all touch points around this, we can stay on top of these different situations here. Like I want to talk to people from Coast, because the residents said that they made a lot of complaints about Greg Taylor. Now, does that property management company, do they relay these, whatever their protocol is, back to like say the Urban League or anybody who owns a building? That's why you hire the property management company. Maybe they did, maybe they did not, but they got a lot of complaints. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we really want to follow up on that. Because people really need answers up there. That was such a tragic event that happened up there. Then also we're going to stay on top of this situation here, this occupation that's still occurring over there at the Northwest African American Museum. You know what I'm saying? The Urban League finds itself in the middle of two real heavy situations, all at the same physical address.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that, Michelle was on here to kind of answer some of those questions and really, give their perspective. I mean, like you said, I feel like there's more. And that's what I said, even to her, like I have so many questions, a lot of questions, many questions and probably just not enough time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's Feel Good Friday. I'm getting ready to get out of my seat here and make room for comedian Rod Long. He's talking about this comedy show here tomorrow. We're going to take a ZYD break. And what time? Do we got time for a ZYD break? Yeah, we got time. I think we're going to go a few minutes long today. We're going to take a ZYD break right now. When we come back, you're going to be joined by comedian Rod Long. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Public Health, Seattle, King County, Zero Youth Detention, along with our partners from across the South King County region, are committed to reducing violence and creating the conditions needed for our neighborhoods to be safe and free of crime. Too often, the response to crime and violence has been a piecemeal approach with a program here and a program there. When family units collapse, schools fail to educate, the economy fails to produce jobs, and crime rises, we've looked to law enforcement and punitive measures to save us. Nothing could be more wrong or further from the truth. Law enforcement can't shoulder all the burden or take the rest of us off the hook. We are acknowledging the lived experiences of Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. We are centering community as the experts who can effectively identify key issues related to systems, policies, and practices that impact children, families, and communities of color across this region. Those most impacted by the issues will help call out and identify the root causes, including structural and systemic factors. 150 residents will partner with King County to develop strategies, solutions, and an action plan that explicitly addresses system changes needed and eliminates barriers to access for Black, Brown, and Indigenous folks. These residents will also identify the criteria used to measure our collective success. Simply put, we need your help as we do the work needed to make King County the safest in this country. It will take specific commitments from all of us, community members, our young people, elders, and leaders from the sectors all across this region. Together, we will get this work done. Please click the link below and sign up for a work group. Or you can recommend a co-facilitator from community for each work group. We look forward to hearing your ideas, concerns, feedback, and solutions as we build a community where all our children can be happy, healthy, hopeful, safe, and thriving.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. Rod already has me over here laughing. Welcome, Rod Long with Laugh Rehab. What's up, Rod?
Let's get this correct. It's Julius Caesar's Laugh Rehab.
There we go.
Okay, that's the producer, Julius Caesar Robinson, and it's Julius Caesar's Laugh Rehab.
That's
and as
right.
you know,
There
after the year that we've just had, can't we use a little rehabilitating laughter?
Oh my gosh, can we ever, Rod? And I just gotta say too, man, you got some big shoes to fill because they came out swinging out the gate. How you gonna hold it up this weekend?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna do my best, and I know people are looking at me saying your picture and you do not look at all alike. And let me just explain to you that I'm a cancer survivor.
Oh.
So that's why I look the way I do. This is 27 rounds of chemo.
Wow, Rod.
And 2 years of cancer. And dig this, it was pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
Okay, so, and when I had people ask me, like, what kind of cancer have you got, Rod? And I would tell them pancreatic cancer. There would be this really awkward pause. And then they would say, wow. So, like, do you owe me any money?
Oh no.
And by the way, is that contagious?
Oh no.
Because I ain't coming to your house if that's contagious. You know what I'm saying?
So throughout everything, you've been able to keep comedy alive and well in your life. How has COVID been working and affecting you? I know you're probably happy to be out here this Saturday.
Oh, honey, I am so happy to get out of the house. I've been on house arrest over a year, and I'm so happy to get furloughed and to come back to my old neighborhood. You know, beautiful gentrified Columbia City. Okay, beautiful gentrified Columbia City. And I know we had some heavy duty conversations going in here before I joined you. You and Amari had very heavy conversation going with the woman from Urban League, and I appreciated her comments. I appreciated the questions. As you know, there's a lot of problems in this city that I was born and raised in that just continues to change in front of our very eyes. And we got people that are walking up and down the street, talking to themselves, bumping into walls. And that's just the people leaving the Mariner game. You know what I'm saying? I saw Amari had on that hat. I said, Amari, if you can hit a fastball, brother, come downtown. We need you right now. This baseball team is destined to get no hit more than any other team in history. Can't buy a hit.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the problem is. Are they hitting the pipe? What's happening?
No.
Can't hit the ball. Are they hitting the pipe?
You are in his seat talking about the Mariners.
I'm telling you, man, this is the coldest bowl of chili. Every year they service this, and every year the baseball team gets on the phone and calls up other teams. Hi, Mariners here. Listen, we got a couple of guys who play way too good for our team. Yes, way too good. Have you got any washed up, dead weight, openly smoking crack cocaine in the dugout ball players that you like? Every year they do this. Amari knows this, and he proud enough to wear the hat. I appreciate you, brother. Continue to rock that hat.
You know, this set gets much Mariner love all the time. But you know what? You guys also have a pretty heavy list of some other comedians you're going to be working with. We know Swing One here. Oh, if you could put the overlay back up so folks can see, because
Swing One, funny man.
Swing One, Tony Daniels.
Tony Daniels, very funny, brother. He was in the first show. He's hosting this gig, and the very funny from the Bronx, Marilyn Gibbs. Okay, the Bronx, which is, by the way, where Julius Caesar Robinson is also from. So she's bringing the New York swag. Yeah. Okay, we got to have some of that New York swag in what used to be Mayberry with skyscrapers, maybe, you know, what I called Seattle back in the day. Now, of course, it's Mayberry with cranes. I don't know what you call. What do you call this, man? Dog, this is gonna be a nice city when they finish building it, isn't it? When they gonna finish?
Yeah, that's the thing.
When they gonna finish, man? When they gonna finish this city?
You know what? If anybody can answer that question, man, they have the golden ticket. Because I promise you, we are cranes galore still to this day.
I saw one crane down on South Lake Union. It had mounted and looked like it was humping another crane. I think it was an Amazon crane because it had two cylindrical balls and an extra hook on the crane from the front for that .com deal that's going down. I love what y'all are doing here, by the way. I learned film at Brooks Institute of Photography. I got a film degree in 1979. That's how old school I am. And I'm looking at all this gear around here, and I learned on an Aeroflex 16 millimeter camera. We did old fashioned A and B roll and all that. I'm looking at these brothers in here, this beautiful female producer. Nice to meet you again. And the studio. And what I love about the building. No way. Amari.
There we go.
wait a minute. Your dad is James Salisbury?
That's right.
Bro, wait a minute. And your mom is Harriet.
That's right.
Oh my God, this is too small a town and too small a world. Amari, guess what, bro? First and foremost, your dad gave me his 4x5 view camera so that I could go through Brooks my first year and not have to buy one. That's number one.
Wow.
Number two, your dad got on the phone to Ernie Brooks, and your dad got me a job working at Brooks Institute as a janitor.
Wow.
And I worked my way through that school, and that was because of your dad, bro.
Wow.
I cannot believe that we have had this moment. Wow, bro. I remember when you were a little, bro. I remember when you were a little boy. My God, Amari. I remember you when you were a little boy, and you knew better than wearing a Mariner cap back then. Because I cannot believe this. Amari Salisbury. Wow, Amari.
We were just talking about how small, no,
that's why this is Mayberry with skyscrapers.
Yeah.
This is so crazy, man. I loved your dad. What's really crazy is I was the editor of the Brooks Alumni Magazine, and one of the things that I did before I left Brooks was I interviewed James Salisbury, who had a portrait studio. He had portraits that toured the world on a loan collection, okay? I'm telling you, Amari Salisbury's dad was a world-class portrait artist. And when I say artist, I mean artist. And what I still remember is something that his mom said. I'll never forget what your mom said to me, man. I'll never forget it, bro. Amari, your mom said, poor boys have dreams too. I'll never forget that. And that's how I started that article that I wrote about your dad. Wow. I will never forget that. I'll never forget where the studio was, right there at the crest of the hill, before you headed down the hill and you could look out on the lake and all that. I remember all that, man.
Oh my gosh, I love this history. Clearly, you
Crazy.
guys.
Are you kidding me?
Rod, you are hilarious, and clearly you don't need no script to make sure that you're gonna be funny. What can folks expect tomorrow at Laugh Rehab, brought on by the Julius Caesar?
Oh, they can expect funny people nonstop. And sometimes, you know what? I got to tell you that the news really, sometimes funny things happen in the news that I can't even make up.
Yeah.
And I was telling Julius this morning, there was the most bizarre scenario in Chicago yesterday. An apartment building caught on fire. All right. Apartment building's on fire. There's smoke billowing out the windows of this high-rise apartment building. This cat who was in the unit that was on fire, they got this on video now. The cat sticks its head out one of the windows, looks around and says, wait a minute, I'm 5 floors up, but I know at least I got 3 more lives left. The cat jumped and nailed the landing. Now, it was a black cat, of course. That cat got that work did. That cat hit the ground on all 4s, got up, quickly buried a turd, and ran off. It was on video. And they had it on Fox News, which means that they had a slant on it that the cat had started the fire and that the police are looking for the cat right now. Did I say that?
Rod Long.
Did I say that?
Said it. You just put it out there.
I just said that. When I couldn't sleep, I had some people tell me, they said, man, you can't sleep at night. What's up, bro? I said, I'm an insomniac. They go, so like, have you tried white noise? I said, man, I can't watch Fox News. All right, then I said that. Yes, I said that.
We appreciate you for being here today.
I can't appreciate that I met Amari Salisbury.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely stunned. I love the photos of the chop.
There we go.
I love your story. I'm interested in finding out more about your story. What I can't even believe is that the words Brooks Institute triggered the most incredible and emotional exchange that I've had in a long time, because I think about your dad from time to time, and I know he was from Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I know the whole story of your family, bro. And your dad,
just everything.
Your dad was so incredibly kind, man. I don't know if I've ever met a more gentle and kind and talented and selfless person than one James Salisbury, man. Your dad was absolutely the atomic bomb, bro. I think about your dad, He made it so much easier for me to get through that school, man. He made it so much easier, bro.
Wow.
I have everything to, and you know what? He would have been so proud of what I did afterwards because,
Yeah, there
man,
we
bro,
go.
bro.
Oh,
Wow. I can't even believe.
watching, by the way.
yeah,
you know, he's
always,
watching.
always.
Man, I can't even believe this. I'm telling you, I can't even believe this
Wow.
because, like I said, man, your dad made it so much easier for me to do what I did. And your dad would have been so proud because literally about 3 weeks before I graduated, and understand, man, I'm working my way through the school as a janitor. Okay. I got a gig at Peterson's Photographic Magazine as their associate editor, man. My audience before I ever got on stage was 3 million people a month who read my column in the magazine. And I have your dad to thank for that, bro. Okay. The roots, my dad, obviously, but your dad, special, incredible, amazing, and selfless, and an incredible photographer. And I can still see that Spanish dancer, the one that toured all over the world. I can still see that one. He did a great portrait of our family. I got a picture in my wallet of my grandma that your dad shot.
You guys, clearly today, who knew? Who would have known that we would be able to have this much of a deep connection? Rod Long, thank you for joining us today. I mean, clearly, you know, folks have a real opportunity to get their laugh on tomorrow. Let's put it up one last time for the overlay so people know.
Please
it is
come.
going to be at Rainier Arts Center.
Rainier Arts
right
Center.
there on Rainier. You guys, the show is starting at 7, but the doors open at 6. Come on down and join Julius Caesar's Laugh Rehab. Caesar's been doing hard work behind the scenes to reopen and make sure that we have a way to kind of shake it off and laugh it off. Thank you so much, Rod.
Oh,
for
come on. It
joining
was
us
my
today.
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Wow.
All right, welcome back to the morning update show. Yeah, I was sitting there in the office listening because Aaron said, he said Brooks Institute. My daddy went to Brooks Institute. Bars didn't hear on your side. My fault for interrupting you. Said
No,
everything.
you had to. And the funny thing is when he said Brooks Institute, I thought your father. I mean, honestly, because we've talked about your dad's legacy. We've talked about what got you going. So as soon as he said Brooks, I was going to say, so I'm glad you came in here because I'm like, oh, Mr. James Salisbury. That was just emotional. It was so touching. What a feel good Friday.
We got our feel good back, huh? We was waiting.
Absolutely.
Rod Long, man, he delivered on the feel good.
He did. He definitely did. In more ways than one. And hilarious too. If you guys hear those
people in the comments like, man, you guys need to have him every Friday.
Yeah. I love it.
It's incredible. All right, so 2:00 today. Can we play our promo here real quick? We're gonna introduce you properly here.
Jazz with Trey. Jazz with Trey. Jazz with Trey.
All right, Trey, 2 o'clock today. What can we expect?
You know what? I'm excited to bring back Chats with Trey. And at 2 o'clock, you guys will be hearing me talk to Miss Evergreen State, Jamerica Haynes Lewis. Things we've been talking, so many things have had to adjust with COVID, and pageantry is one of them. So she's going to break it down about the pageant, about her platform for foster care advocacy.
Right. This is
And it is National Foster Care Month. So it's just very timely. So yeah, excited to have Jamerica Haynes as my first guest as we relaunch Chats with Trey. And you guys can be looking forward to episodes every Friday at 2 o'clock right here on Converge.
Yeah, everything has a season. And let me just explain something to people here too. We were so ambitious. We started Chats with Trey in the chop.
Yeah.
Because it was like, yo, man, we can't let what's happening right here define us as who we are, our creative capabilities, and the only things that we could report and talk about. And people used to come to the chop, and that's where we shot the original episodes. It was right there in the bunker, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll just tell you, man, no matter what you're going through, keep going through it. We had every reason never even to start the show. Man, we in the middle of a protest. We in the middle of whatever. We was like, man, we gonna do it.
Hey, every time. And it's one of those things about resilience. We talk about it all the time. You got to go through it to get to it. You got to do what you can with what you have. And that was very much how Chats with Trey launched. So absolutely.
All right, good stuff. I know one of the last things you might have to say is to tell everybody to tune in at 2 o'clock. But any other last words beyond that?
You guys, clearly, I love being able to bring people on the Morning Update show that are showcasing that they have made it a part of their life to be a part of the solutions. And however you really see the solutions, clearly, we need all of you. So find ways, y'all, to be a part of the solution. And please tune in today at 2 o'clock for Chats with Trey, anywhere you're watching Converge Media right now.
All right. Well, let me come through and reinforce that message. 2 o'clock, support. This is the fun stuff. These other shows, of course, we love the Morning Update show, and especially a morning like this. Yeah. But all these other shows, your show, and Clapback Culture, Rewind with Besa. Looks like, man, we're out of here. We might do something on Sunday. I was talking to Mike Davis yesterday. So me, Mike Davis, maybe Carolyn Bick, maybe if I can get a hold of Justin. And we might do like writer's block. This was a big week in Seattle as far as news with all kinds of stuff. So we might do a special. We'll let you guys know if that happens. If it is, it'll be Sunday, a Sunday evening. Otherwise, beyond that, the sun is shining outside. Make sure and get out, enjoy the sunshine. Also, remember, no appointments required at the city's vaccination sites. Leave that out there. 2 o'clock today. Chats with Trey, and I'll leave you with this thought as usual. Go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m. or until tomorrow, I said tomorrow,
I know, and I was about to just go with it.
I know, because last time I was like, why didn't you go with it? Until Monday at 11 a.m.
Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day.